So this is your content agent put into Claude Code. So in Claude Code, what we've done is if I come past all this guy, you'll see these are all the files that comes with your content agent, frameworks and what have you. And I give you these little instructions that will call all of these different frameworks. And so what happens is you go into the top into regular Claude and you write your idea. This is just the, hey, here's the thing I'm thinking about. So in this idea, I'm saying, hey, me and Claude, we've done previous work on evals, and that's the notion of a feedback loop for software. And the challenge right now in AI is not feedback loops. In fact, there's a new Hermes agent that is a new agent harness that will actually do the feedback loop automatically. And you go, no. The hard work is the articulation of good or quality or how we score work. When we first started, we were excited that AI just output something like if you said, here's my bad email and it gave you good email. And we never defined any kind of level of quality. But when we put it into work, the hardest things in AI is not agents. It's not agent collaboration. It's not harness decisions. It's not model selection. The hardest stuff isn't even in the AI right now. It's in our teams. It's you and me. It's, okay, how do we define our knowledge? How do we extract that for rubrics and frameworks and quality criteria? So this is the idea of the post. And so I'm going to hit this enter, and then I'm going to let your content agent do the work. So the first thing it does is it says, okay, I'm going to read your profile, your voice profile, which absolutely makes sense. Seeing as when I want help writing, I want it to write like me. So it's going to do that. It's then going to shift to the audience segment, and you can see that happening. And then it has to jump into the index and the root, the two core pieces. Oh, there's another one in my platform profile. So it understands that. There we go. It hits index, and then it's going to hit the root. And once it understands that, it's ready to start. Now, you're going to be like, but Chris, that's only 3 or 4 content pieces, and we put 16. And you go, but the first set of profile ones and the first 2 files, that's what's the foundation. Then it's going to start doing all the workflow, everything else. But we don't want it to fill up context with everything. We want it to just get the initial stuff, and then it's going to start working. And so it says, hey, I have all the foundation, and now let me proceed with the pipeline. You go, that's great. So this is one of those, I have a take. Yes, I gave it a take. So it has an understanding of the take. And now what it's going to do is it's going to score all my different audiences. So here you'll see each segment, and it's literally going, okay, let me understand goal, pain, pyramid fit, and score it. And you see we got one higher score than many others. And you go, okay, that's great. So it's going to say, hey, the winner of this, and this is, of course, the whole point of the article, a little meta, but the point of the article is saying, if you don't break down everything you know into components that can be scored, then how does the AI make consistent choices? So we're building little finite state machines in the process by saying, hey, if score on this, score on this, score on this, here's the rubric to score. And then based on that, once you get the highest score, take that and move forward. Okay, so then we go, this is the audience micro segment we're going after. So let's understand why. Here's the struggling moment. Here's the 4 forces. Here's the hiring moment. Here's the pyramid level. And we get I understand what I'm trying to do here. Totally gets it. That's great news. So we move to the next stage, and it says, hey, are you ready for me to proceed? And I go, yes. It does a nice little check-in before it runs off. And it goes, okay, now what I'm going to do, and this is the art of a skill graph, that it doesn't make you read all the different possible files. It reads just what it needs for the next stage. So it goes, okay, I understand we're going to have a stage 1 tournament. And what a tournament is we're going to take a lot of different possible ways to attack this idea, and we're going to throw them against each other in a little March Madness bracket work. So this is the insight. And these are different kinds of ways to think about insight. So is it an uncomfortable truth? Is it contrarian? Is it, oh, suddenly I've seen a pattern? Or is it some sort of, this is a breakthrough and let me walk you through the entire history of that? And so you'll see again, scoring, and you go, all right, uncomfortable truth comes down on top. There was this guy that came out, contrarian also was fighting, but then these two guys went against each other. And so we have the winning insight, which is our uncomfortable truth. Now we got to go to the format. What are we trying to do? Are we trying to build out a new framework? Are we trying to stir some controversy? Are we trying to share some insight from someone who's in the industry? Are we trying to solve a specific problem? Are we telling an evolution story? And so these get scored, and you'll see that the top score was problem solver, or you see it right here. So there was a semifinal and another semifinal, and then they went head to head, and problem solver, though it was 8.0 to 8.3, so it was close. And we go, okay, so now we know everything that was supposed to come out of stage 1. So now we go into stage 2. And it says, are you ready? And I go, absolutely. Now, I'm seeing all this at work. Not every LLM does that. Sometimes if I'm in the other day, I was in Codex and it didn't show me any of this work. It just did it in the background. But that also means I feel less confident about it because I don't get to see it do the work. Here, we're seeing it do the work. It has 13 different headlines, and it's going to run its tournament, and you'll see it score each of the different approaches that we have defined. And so we go, okay, here we go. And as it gets to its final, it's going to be contrarian versus myth busting, and contrarian wins. Okay? So given that contrarian wins, and we've already done the first part of the pipeline. So we're in the second part with the headline, but it's going to grab some of that, bring it forward, and start building out some candidates. The hardest thing in AI right now isn't AI. The hardest problem in AI has nothing to do with technology. Everyone's solving the wrong AI problem. The AI bottleneck nobody wants to talk about is you, and agents aren't the hard part, you are. All of those make sense in a contrarian approach and given the topic we're talking about. So we're going to go, hey, the hardest thing in AI right now isn't AI. Now you're going to notice something. That's one of my lines, right? This isn't AI just making up content. That line came from the stuff I put in at the front end. And that's exactly what should happen. It's grabbing good, meaty stuff that I've proposed, and it's saying, okay, here is what it is. So now we're going to go into the next part, and it's going to pull everything together and craft the architecture. That's the structure of the post. And so now we're going to do structure, and we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it work. All right. So what you'll see here is a format structure. This is how we shape the actual article. Symptoms checklist, root cause, immediate fixes, prevention, resources. And then our messaging framework that's going to come into this, and we're going to do that test. We're going to end up with, okay, here's how to pull it together. This is the messaging framework. And this was now we're doing the story shape. So these are all the different parts, and a contrast reveal takes it by easily. And now we're going to grab all those things and we're going to put it together. And we're just doing a best practice on how we structure content. So when we get through all of this, we're going to be ready to do the draft. And so now we can say go. Now the draft isn't the final. The draft is to allow us, this was stage 4 doing the draft. Stage 5 in the draft is where we put back some of our own content. And you go, okay, let's take a personal story, a personal opinion, and let's weave it back into the article. So what you're going to see here is none of this is a massive departure from what I started with. What it is a more diligent, structured, and committed approach to this content. It's not agents, it's not model selection. I'd already written that, but it's putting it in the right spot. It's playing it out as part of a whole to make a better article. And so it's writing this out, and when it gets to the end, it's going to ask me for my input. Okay, so now it says, hey, let's personalize this. And I'm going to say, one of my startups with a company called CK, Chief Knowledge Officer. And we were in the late predicting every company needs someone and a intern to capture corporate. So what I'm telling it is basically, hey, I had this prediction. I worked in a little startup and we built this because we believed 20 some years ago that this was the problem, that we needed a way to pull and extract knowledge from everyone. So it takes my personal story and it's going to go, here's where I'm going to place it. And then we're going to move into the final stage 6 of polish. And polish is going to run through all the different red flag detections and everything else. And once it passes all that, it's going to score each part, clean up what it needs to, and give me my final article. And that is how your content agent works. So it did that little revision, and here it is, our final article.